Some implications post-race.
Stenhouse.
Implications. I like how you say that.
We saw Ricky Stenhouse and Hocevar getting in it today. Let's see what happens here post-race.
Carson Hocevar has just suffered a downfall that defies belief, and what's been exposed has left NASCAR observers across the country absolutely stunned. The Spire Motorsports driver stands as one of the most controversial figures in Cup Series racing, making his recent public humiliation particularly devastating to witness. The revelation involves not only his catastrophic $50,000 fine for offensive comments, but also the complete destruction of his reputation within the NASCAR community, prompting the entire motorsports world to finally acknowledge this systematic failure after witnessing one of the most damaging public relations disasters in recent racing history. The context begins with Hocevar's inflammatory Twitch livestream comments before NASCAR's historic Mexico City race, where he was expected to represent American racing with professionalism and respect. The 22-year-old driver recently declared that Mexico City was a S-hole and announced his complaints about the city's logistics and safety standards during live streaming. This inflammatory departure from professional conduct escalated consequences, particularly when Hocevar admitted he had never been out of the country until Thursday while making sweeping judgments about an entire nation and culture. The NASCAR world has been watching Hocevar's controversial behavior for an extended period, recognizing what his pattern of incidents represents for driver accountability and professional standards. Spire Motorsports imposed a significant $50,000 penalty following his derogatory remarks, raising fundamental questions about rookie driver education. Who exactly represents NASCAR internationally while displaying such cultural insensitivity? The organization wants to ensure fans understand that professional drivers face severe consequences for public misconduct through deliberate financial punishment and mandatory sensitivity training. The disciplinary situation provides crucial context because Hocevar's punishment cannot be viewed as a simple team overreaction or a minor public relations issue. Spire Motorsports serves as the enforcing authority, implementing comprehensive accountability measures, executing immediate financial consequences alongside mandatory cultural sensitivity and bias awareness training to address the systematic nature of his offensive behavior. The team designed their response to encompass $50,000 fine distribution to Mexican charitable organizations, public accountability statements, and educational requirements that demonstrate organizational commitment to respect and cultural awareness. Spire Motorsports recently revealed their institutional values in a particularly significant statement that exposed their complete intolerance for cultural insensitivity. These actions are consistent with Spire Motorsports' core value of respect, which is something we proudly display on every race car, team uniform, trackside hauler, and digital channel. Respect is not a slogan. It is a daily expectation that we walk the walk in how we speak, compete, and serve the communities that welcome our sport. This comprehensive declaration exposes Spire's systematic approach. Establish clear behavioral expectations, enforce immediate consequences for violations, and demonstrate genuine commitment to cultural respect to justify organizational credibility, ultimately ensuring that driver misconduct doesn't compromise team reputation or NASCAR's international expansion efforts. The charitable distribution demonstrates the constructive nature of Hocevar's punishment beyond simple financial penalty. The fine will be distributed among the Mexican Red Cross, United Way Mexico, and Un Kilo de Ayuda, which helps childhood nutrition and development in rural communities across Mexico. This approach transforms Hocevar's offensive behavior into positive community impact while ensuring his mistake contributes to Mexican society rather than personal enrichment. The public apology process reveals Hocevar's recognition of his systematic error and cultural ignorance. Hocevar acknowledged that he made comments without properly visiting Mexico City and before experiencing the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez facility that welcomed me with open arms. His admission that "I go and say that" demonstrates awareness of the contradiction between his negative assumptions and positive reality. Hocevar must complete cultural sensitivity and bias training aimed at changing the mindset behind his offensive remarks. These educational requirements focus on lasting behavioral change, not just a surface-level apology. The timing complications add layers to Hocevar's public relations disaster. His offensive comments occurred during NASCAR's first international points-paying race since 1958, making his cultural insensitivity particularly damaging to the sport's global expansion efforts. Mexico City represented a historic milestone for NASCAR's international growth, And Hocevar's remarks undermine the positive diplomatic relationships the sanctioning body worked years to establish. The on-track incidents compound Hocevar's mounting reputation problems beyond his cultural insensitivity. During the Mexico City race, he spun out Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for the second time, creating heightened tensions and warnings from Stenhouse to Spire Motorsports regarding Hocevar's racing conduct. Hocevar finished 34th, while Stenhouse completed the event in 27th, demonstrating that his controversial behavior extends across both competitive and public relations domains. The pattern recognition reveals systematic issues with Hocevar's professional judgment and behavioral control. In 2023, Hocevar infamously spun Corey Heim during the Truck Series Championship race, leading to retaliation when Heim crashed Hocevar less than 30 laps later. Stenhouse isn't the only driver he's ticked off with his racing approach, establishing a clear pattern of controversial behavior that extends beyond isolated incidents. The social media damage control demonstrates Hocevar's attempt to manage the expanding public relations crisis. His ex-post acknowledgement that whoa everybody, the truth is the truth. I said something that not only was wrong, while making sweeping cultural judgments reveals the depth of his ignorance and the scope of his professional failure. The competitive implications extend beyond immediate punishment to long-term career consequences. Currently 20th in the Cup Series standings with 313 points, Hocevar has recorded 3 top 10 finishes, 2 top 5s, and 1 pole position through 16 races, but continued struggles threaten his playoff hopes unless he can regain both competitive momentum and professional credibility. The public accountability response shows Hocevar's recognition of the systematic nature of his failure. I appreciate the opportunity to learn, and I knew before this weekend what respect means to this organization, and I didn't meet the standard, so I got what I deserved, he admitted, acknowledging both organizational expectations and personal accountability. The learning process acknowledgement reveals Hocevar's awareness of his ongoing developmental needs. I hate learning these lessons in the public eye and bringing any negative attention to Spire or me, he confessed, recognizing that his mistakes create organizational consequences beyond personal embarrassment. We've been fast just about every week, and I'm sure I have plenty of mistakes left in me. The growth mindset demonstration shows Hocevar's attempt to frame his controversy within broader developmental context. I appreciate growing up in front of all of you, and you guys get to see the good and the bad. I'm just me. I'm trying. It just doesn't always go the way I want, and I bring a lot of this on myself. The organizational loyalty expression represents Hocevar's effort to maintain team relationships despite his damaging behavior. However, I love being in this garage, with this team surrounded by the best drivers and fans in the world, he stated, emphasizing his commitment to the NASCAR community that he simultaneously offended through his cultural insensitivity. The fan reaction dynamics create additional pressure through social media criticism and community accountability. Hocevar's response to supporters revealed his understanding that, "I'm not sure we're on the same page," when fans defended his offensive behavior, demonstrating his recognition that accountability requires genuine behavioral change rather than defensive justification. The international implications extend beyond individual driver punishment to NASCAR's global reputation and expansion efforts. Hocevar's comments about Mexico City being a S-hole directly contradict NASCAR's investment in international markets and relationships with foreign government officials who facilitated the historic race weekend. Spire Motorsports' disciplinary actions show a clear commitment to values over driver loyalty. Hocevar's mandatory training and financial penalties reflect more than image repair. They aim to enforce real growth and cultural awareness. With the spotlight now fixed on him, every race will test whether his actions reflect genuine change or surface-level compliance. His long-term career and marketability hang in the balance as NASCAR pushes deeper into global and diverse territory.